So, all right. Well, we are just about 9 o'clock. I'm sure we'll get to the others joining. This is recorded. We will put it in our private Facebook group if you'd like to watch the recording later. Um, just to extra review or whichever. But today, well, Michelle from Tycor put me in contact with Michelle here
Yeah.
to teach us a little bit about ZipForms. They've made a lot of updates. They're constantly making updates. I know if you've been using ZipForms for a fair amount of time, which I have, you kind of just get stuck using it how you've always used it and not using, the current features of it. Or maybe you just don't know what the current features are and are kind of struggling with the navigation. So I thought it'd be good to um, get a trainer on to answer anybody's questions about setting up templates or how to do MLS Connect or really anything that you're just kind of struggling with. We are going to go over some topics that I had prepped from a lot of questions that I get when I'm doing training. And I am not a certified ZipForms trainer, and I am guilty of using it how it's kind of always been used from many years ago and trying to adapt as little as possible. When in fact, I know there's much more productive ways to, get your transaction flow going inside of ZipForm. So with that, we have Michelle. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to come in and help you out. I
Yeah.
do have okay, so I am going to go through the basics on the zip forms because there are a lot of people struggle just to get in and just to send and get it signed and that kind of thing. So I want to make sure that you know how to do templates, understanding the templates versus the transactions. So first of all, I would like to get in. You can get in a couple ways through your MLS or clicking on the car.org and going to access now. So you can do that. I'll go that way route. It's validating my membership right down below.
So you're sharing a screen, but it
Continue.
might be a
Can
different
you see
one.
that? Let me go ahead and click on that now. New
Yeah, we're
share.
still on the dashboard part after you've
All right.
logged in, where it says DocuSign, now Authentisign. It probably popped up a new window.
It probably did. Hold on. Let me pull it up and share. No,
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
just a second. Let's
So now
share
we're on the car site.
this one. You're on the car site.
Um, Now we're inside the
Are you
dashboard.
in transactions? I'm looking
Yep.
at transactions right now. It's just a little slow, I think. All
Yep. I'm
right.
looking at transactions.
Okay. So once we validate and get in, then on the let's first start with seeing with how you're using your signing. So up on top where it has your photo, the very top right, clicking on that, going to profile, and we'll look at settings. Let's select settings right here in the center. And currently we're on DocuSign, but we can go with Authentic Site. So let's click on here. You want to select the Pacific time zone and click save. If you do have a DocuSign account, then you select DocuSign and then link your account to it. So it just depends on which one you're using, but you have to purchase DocuSign. And if you haven't done it, then you would select the defaulted one that they have, the Authenticite.
I've had a couple agents say that they've clicked the DocuSign and have been able to use that.
Do they have an account or do they not know if
No,
they have an
they
account?
said yeah, they said they don't have an account, but they're using the one
Ah,
through here, which is kind of odd.
so
So
so see, I would say go into the e-sign options here and check to see which one you're using because that could be I'm not sure why it would show because it is a paid subscription.
yeah,
However, years ago, when DocuSign was ZipForms used DocuSign, it was free. And then we got to know how to use it and then they started to charge. So I don't know if back then they paid for subscriptions and then maybe it's automatic. I don't know.
yeah.
That's possible.
maybe, yeah. So, okay.
All
Well,
right,
the
so let's
Authentisign is the
continue.
free one, guys. So,
Correct. All right. So now that we know we're on Authentisign, we're going to go ahead and click on templates. So there's templates already, or you have templates, but we're going to click on forms and checklists. We're going to create one. We're going to click on new. And for this training, we're going to select new purchase or offer. Now there's two asterisks here. You have to put in a name and a category. So the name I'll go ahead and choose the best purchase template training so I know how to delete it later, Travis.
okay, not a problem.
All right. So here okay. So at the next section here where it says auto apply, you can create a transaction and then apply the template to it. Or what most do is automatically when you start a transaction, purchase transaction, you're going to want it to automatically go in to that transaction. So you would select automatically apply this template to purchase the transaction. So if you notice the asterisk is here because we haven't selected a category. So if I select residential, it's going to change to residential new transactions. So if I select any other one, then it's going to go into that transaction, whatever I started. So you want to make sure you select the category that you're going to be applying this template to that transaction. So I'm going to show you, this is default. So I'm going to select this one right now, just so that you could see that extra screen that pops up for me to apply that transaction to that, or the template to the transaction. Clicking on save. You want to keep it personal, residential, and then you want to select the automatically applied transaction to the purchase residential new transactions. Clicking on save. Okay, let me move this here. Perfect. Now we want to add the forms. So we click over here on all forms. We'll want to select a cover sheet. And in this case, we want to select the residential listing. Oh, purchase agreement. Oops. Purchase agreement, not the listing agreement. We're doing purchase. Clicking on close. I'm going to delete the listing one because I selected that one. All right, so I have the purchase agreement and the cover sheet. Clicking on the cover sheet. Again, this is the template. The template is where all the information that you use will automatically show up. Okay, so you want to select, obviously we don't want to have a buyer information because all our buyers are going to be different. Seller information is going to be different. Property information will be different. So, but the buyer's broker information will be the same. So we're going to go ahead and type in Rise Realty.
Yep.
Let's select the address right here. You could type it in, or once you've typed it in, then automatically will show up. Wait, Carlsbad. The drop-down menu will have the selection. California. 92008. And then we'll do Travis. Find your phone number right here. Okay, your DRE number stays the same, so we'll select that. Which one is it? This. The 19.
0195. Right, next one down.
195. There it is.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, awesome. And then this is your drop down 14. Is it this one?
01799.
Oh, yeah. 1799. There it is.
Yep.
All right. So your information here, because this is something that we're not going to want to keep typing in, right? So we're going to
Yeah.
keep that in here. And we have title too. Michelle brings us in here. So we're going to put Ticor title. Let's capitalize that. All right, so we'll just skip down to an email address, and I'm just going to put my email address so that I have it here. Okay, awesome. So keep going down, and again, there's pest control. All of this information may not be something that you'll want on each transaction, so you could leave it blank or fill it in. Okay. So you click on save. I always like to click on save because save just makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of
Just
times
in
it
case.
automatically saves, just makes me feel better. All right. So we could go, okay, if we go to the California Residential Purchase Agreement. Oh, let me add that workspace right there. Actually, I'm just going to go back. So if I go back right here, I'm going to see the template right here. I'm going to click on residential purchase agreement so that you could see that everything that we have typed in, I'm going to open my workspace. First, we're going to see the cover sheet, and then we're going to keep scrolling down so that we could see the next screen or the next form right here. We have the disclosure relationship, and your information pops up here, Travis. Keep scrolling down. So all that information from the cover sheet auto-populated into the fields that are in the other forms that you've selected. Remember, this is a template, so you could still checkbox specific things if you want to, so that you don't have to repeat that in your transaction. So if it's the buyer, you want to go click on that checkbox, you can. So if you go through it and you find yourself having to always checkbox a specific item, then you'll want to checkbox that in the template so that the transaction will be a lot smoother. All right. Again, I'd like to save. Okay. Also under parties, I'd like to click on parties because here you notice that because I've added the broker or the selling agent is here and also titles here. I can add the parties if I know that the party that I have my client will be the buyer, and let's just name him Bob the buyer because we like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add an email because that's important when we have him sign. Perfect. And then let's move this over here. Clicking on save. All right, so now I've added my buyer to it.
Now, won't Bob always show up in the template then,
Oh,
or?
it is. Oh my goodness, you are so right. So I'm going to, you are so right. I apologize. Did I,
Okay, yeah, because we're still in the template part, right?
yes, and that's
Yeah,
where we
okay.
get confused. So I just deleted them. So
Yeah.
yes, we want to get out of the template. Once we saved and created the template, let's get out. And that's where the confusion is a lot of times too. I apologize. Thank you for correcting me on that. So
No
now
problem.
that we've done our templates, let's get out of the template so we don't touch that again. Go to transactions and create new. All right. So now that we have here new purchase, so we've already created the template. Now we're over here new. And let's go ahead and name let me pull up an address here. Just pulling up an address as the name. Now this is where it can get confusing for many. This MLS Connect, okay, if it's not working, then we need to connect it because it is a setup. So that if it's not working, then you can either let me know or Travis know, and I can work on setting that up for you. Or we can call ZipForms and get that because that's not something you can do but I'll show you here. So let me go ahead and type in this address, 2977. Oops, Ocean. Is this in Carlsbad? And I'm just pulling up an actual property, so 9208.
Well, it looks like
Okay,
you're about to pull
so
up a good one.
right, right. ZipForm Record Connect. If you ever have a question on what that is, you click on that little I, which is information, and it's just going to import from the public record. So I'm going to click on that and also MLS Connect. Okay, so if you notice the MLS name, there's actually a large selection of choices here. Some don't have this many selections, but Travis does. I'm going to select the SD, which is the San Diego one. And now I need to type in the MLS number of that property that I just typed in. So let me pull that up really quick, 2400760. All right, I want to include the photo to it. Click on find. If this doesn't show up like it just did that fast, then your MLS name selection is wrong. And that's the trouble that most have. We'll want to make sure we select the correct MLS name and then it'll populate. Otherwise, it's going to say you can't identify it. It's not in there. You can't find it. Once you do, then you click on use this listing. Now, all the information from that listing is real and it just populated in here. Okay, I need to select residential. And I'm going to click on save. Okay, so the name of the owner populates. It comes here and it'll show you. You'll want to have the first, middle, and last name. You can select it. Obviously, this is a trust, so I'm going to select it so that I have a seller's name, and I'm just going to put my name. Okay. Scrolling down, clicking yes. Okay, so now that I have the names there, very good. This is a summary, property summary of all of that information that was populated over. So you can see it's filled out. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down a little more so you can see everything. Again, it all populated. So if I go here to, let's see, I can go straight to, let's go to parties. This is where I wanted to go. If you notice here, Molly is the listing agent. I'm going to delete her so I make no mistake about sending anything to her. So I'm going to click on delete just right now so I can make sure that that is clear. So I've just deleted her. Now here is where I can add a buyer. And we'll say Bob in this case, because this is not the template. This is the actual transaction. All right, and let's give him an email. Clicking on save. Okay, so I have selling side, buyer side. Well, okay. Now let me go to transactions again. Clicking on transactions gives us everything again. So if you ever if you ever get lost in where you're at or what do I do, the back button is always good. And also going into one of these buttons up here where you could actually see the whole list. So here under transactions, I have the test one that I've created, the 2977 Ocean Street, has the photo, has all the information. I can do this drop-down menu, gives me all the actions that I can choose. I could open it, copy it, save it as a template, whatever I'd like to do, delete it. At this point, I'm just going to click on open. So right now I don't have that template applied because I had chosen not to apply it just so that the purposes of training, we would see how to apply it if you didn't. So I'm going to click on apply template. And I could select the template that I'd like to apply. Okay. And I'd like to go back to
So quick question, as you're
yes,
going, when you put in these templates, and let's just say the RPA you just did as,
yes.
one of the forms for the template, does that automatically update when they do new form versions, or do you have to go and create a new template
You have to go and create a template.
after when they
Mhm.
do new form revisions?
Well, no, you mean, how do you mean when they
Uh,
revise that specific form?
yeah, so if they
As far
revise the
as I know,
RPA, do we have to go and redo this? Or
oh
does it
no,
automatically
I
update?
believe that that automatically pulls up because it is in the form library. Um, but we'll have to check on that because I don't think that you have the old in the past. They've always revised it, so I just need to make sure that they
Okay,
have updated that. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I think they
okay.
do though. As far as I know, they do. All right, so I'm going to click on here and let's see what's next. So we're going to look at the documents. Actually, what I wanted to do was pull up let's pull up the the form that we're going to sign, which is, give it a minute to come in. There it is. Okay, let me make sure this is the one. Bob Fire. Perfect. Okay, so let's prepare signing. Okay, let me go ahead and click on create. Okay, so here is where we want to add the participant. So let's add Bob is the one we're going to select. Okay, as I scroll down, you'll see that it is automatically showing where he needs to sign or initial. Okay, we click on next up on top. So you can set reminders. You can customize invites. This is where you would just put a message in. Please, I'll just put please sign. Email subject. And then I'll say, I'll just put sign for your review here. I'll just put sign. Click on save and send. If this did not send, then we have the issue of setup. So you'll want to make sure that everything is set up prior to you doing your transactions. So you'll want to check your settings for your signing, your MLS imports. Those are really important because if you don't set those up, it's just going to give you obstacles. You're not able to get in. So you want to make sure you do that. Okay,
Okay,
so let's see. So that was just sent.
so question came in, do you click on any template, or can that be done later?
Can you click on it? You could click on, yeah, you could click on the template later. So in this case, what I did was add the template. So if I went into a transaction here and I clicked right on it, let's just click on this one. You can apply a template by adding the template right up here where it says apply template. And then you can choose the template to apply. Or you could, when under your templates, you could say, I want it to automatically go into a purchase agreement, the purchase transaction when I set that up. So it just depends. You can have it automatically, or you can select and apply it later.
All right. Another
Mhm.
question I get sometimes is adding like an outside doc. So maybe they got a counter offer sent to them, but they want to use the e-signature service within here.
Mhm.
How would they go about doing that?
So right in here, we're in the transaction. I clicked right on transaction, selected it, and I could add a doc right in here. And this is where I would browse my computer for it and then select it and bring it in.
Okay. Will the uh, will the system recognize the template? Like if
That
it's a counter
it's a,
offer?
well, it'll be a PDF, and it will recognize that it's a PDF.
Okay, but it won't
It,
recognize the
it
fields.
no,
To okay.
but it will, but you could then create that. And I know in DocuSign, yeah, then you can create to say sign here, but this is, yeah, it's a little bit more that you have to do, but yes, you can.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. What else? What else would make our life easier here?
Well, we like to make it simple.
Yep.
We like to make it simple, and we want to make it flow really well. Adding the forms, using what you need that's pertinent to the transaction, sending and signing, done.
So how would you add in additional forms to your RPA package? Let's say it's a trust or maybe a probate, and you have to add in a couple extra forms to your purchase package.
Okay, so in the template or in
I guess
a,
it wouldn't be the template because if you don't have one set
it would
up,
be,
yeah,
right, it would actually be in the transaction, right? And that's
yep,
where you would add the documents. This is all
correct.
the documents. You can pull up any documents from here or add a new form. And I'm in my computer, so I don't have a document that can upload,
Uh-huh.
but you just select it. And then once you click on it, then you click on, oh, or bring it in, it'll save it, and then it'll go right in. So you just browse for the file, and then you pull
What
up
if
a
it's already in
PDF.
ZipForms though? Let's say we're creating the purchase package and
Oh,
we click template and it
sure. You can,
applies the RPA, but it is a trust and we need to add in that additional document to the purchase package.
but it's in here. So you actually, okay, so if you, there's a form, it would be, you're able to do a form, um, right here by clicking on add a form, or you're going to have to save it because you could download it right off of the ZipForms and then put it in and browse it and bring it in. So you're
Mhm.
saying if it's already in another transaction?
No, just if we are creating our purchase package and we need to add in some different advisories and whatnot.
Mhm. So you
Um,
add forms, you can, is this what you mean?
yeah.
And then you can add any of these forms to it, hmm to the specific transaction.
One of the questions is when I guess when you go to open up, or maybe you're adding a new form and then it asks if you want to open up your previous workspace or create a new one. What's the difference between those?
So the workspace is all the forms that you have. Like, if you notice that when I first typed in, or when I first selected the cover sheet, I was scrolling down and I couldn't scroll down any longer. But when I
Mhm.
selected the purchase agreement, then I said I wanted to include it, or I wanted to add it to my workspace. Now I'm able to see the cover sheet and the residential purchase agreement. I could say, no, I don't want to see those forms all together. I want to see them separate. So I want to see this specific one in a new workspace, meaning I put everything aside and I don't want to see everything that I'm working on. I just want to see the specific form. So you could create a new workspace by just viewing that one form that you want to to look at. Otherwise, you're going to see everything that you've been working on all together. So you're going to see the cover sheet, you're going to see the, the purchase agreement, you're going to see everything else that you pulled up.
Okay. And then a couple questions came in. If I make a mistake in the template, can I remove it and then add another template?
Absolutely. So let me go ahead and, oh, am I in my templates yet? Okay, so say I'm done with this template, which I am. I'm going to click on here and I can click on delete. And I'm going to create a new one. So I click on new and start it all over again.
Okay.
I can also
And
do that
oh, sorry.
to my transactions and delete that.
Another question, can we make folders, one purchase and another for listing with all main templates needed are included?
So yes, okay, so you have the templates. You explain that again. I'm sorry, say that again.
It says, can we make folders, one purchase and another for listing with all main templates needed are included? So it looks like you would actually create multiple types of templates and then apply them as you're creating your new transaction, I think would be the flow on that.
Okay. And that would be the form, and here it is. And then you would just create the multiple templates as you have here.
Yeah, so I
And then
think,
select, because when you have your transactions, you could select multiple templates to that one transaction that you've
yeah, if it's a
created.
listing and sale,
Mm-hmm.
just work in the same file. Is that what you do?
Mm-hmm. You can do both. You can add multiple. So let's open this. And you can apply a new template. You could say, I want, again, creating your templates. Well, you would name the template so it'll show up. And you can have multiple templates applied to that one transaction. Yes.
All right. So I don't know if that answers your question, Sam. I think so. You don't necessarily need to make, actually, I don't even know if you can make folders in the templates. I think you just see them, each one is what it looks like. If you're wanting to create all your templates up front, and then you're just going to apply them to the specific transaction.
Yes.
Question is, what's the checklist?
Okay. So you can create a checklist and as a template, and then you'll have a checklist of what to do. So it just depends on what you have to select the template for what it's for. Do you have a checklist, Travis, that they follow?
Uh, yeah, but it's in paperless pipeline. It gets applied to the transaction when they create it.
Okay, so let's
And
do it that way, because if you start doing it in multiple places, it just really would get confusing. So if you have it already flowing, Travis, let's stick to that way
yeah,
and not create anything here.
okay,
Again, don't make it complicated, because it's easy and it's working. So let's continue doing your checklist how you have it. That's okay.
okay. Now I saw, and maybe I think it's probably just in my account, global and office. What would be the difference there?
So the office is your office. I think it is. Actually, I do see it in the others. I've never selected other than personal, because this is for you,
Mhm.
in anybody, in any agents, but you do have the global, and so that you could share it with others. And that's what it is. It's sharing,
Okay. So if we did that on our end as
like
as
the
the
office.
company, it would be in there for them to use if they wanted as a
Correct.
template option. Okay,
Hmm.
maybe we can work on that. Okay, any other questions? What other types of productivity things do we have in here?
if there are other questions, I'd like to set up another training where I can really focus on those questions because we can do a little bit more advanced. We can do specifics like you gave me these today, so I wanted to make sure I touch base on those.
Mhm.
But if there's other things, I would love to be able to go over and help them.
Okay.
That would be
Unless
awesome.
we answer live here, but for contacts, do you recommend just keeping those as they add those in? Like every time they add in a signer,
Yes,
should they just add them to their contacts each time?
add them to the exactly. Exactly, just have them added to the contacts. I mean, as you get the transaction, I think that's, it keeps it simple.
Okay. And then something that I see, I don't use DocuSign within here. I use it on the outside because I'm just, I guess, unproductive with how I get these done. But
Mhm.
um, the doc inbox, I notice on Authentisign, it gives you an option of like creating a new folder or something like that after you get it signed. Is that
Right,
where
so
they
you
go?
yes, that's where they go to view it. So once it's sent back, this is where it is in
Okay.
the doc box.
Okay. Um, And another question I've gotten a couple times where they sent out a package. Now I know how to do it within DocuSign, but through here I don't. If they uh, if they made a mistake on sending it out, they need to edit a
Okay,
live package or envelope that's out for signature. What would they do there?
yes. Okay, so once it's sent, you can't, let me see here. You can't delete it unless you make it a draft again. So let me go into the transaction here and click on, let me pull it up. Okay, so once it's sent, you don't have the option of deleting it, but you can reset it. So if you click on, so you pull up eSign and you see that this is sent, reset is where you want to go to. And then you want to say, yes, you want to proceed. And it's going to pull it up as if you're ready to send it again.
Okay.
Give it a second. So this is where you can revise it or change whatever you'd like to do. Okay. And then you could go next and send there. So you can make changes. You say you have to make some changes on here
Okay.
and then you can, so, so then you can send it again with the changes.
All
But
right.
what were you,
No, I think that's about right. I don't see where it has the return thing when you go to click next, docs, tools, layouts, where it asks you where you want the docs to go back into.
so it
Mm.
automatically goes back into that. Wait, I just sent it again, but it was just sent to me, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
So, you have to have them fill it out and then it gets back into it gets sent into your docking box.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let's see. Dash. What other questions do I usually get? Um, oh, libraries.
Hmm.
Um,
The
so
forms.
there's like some risk management forms. I don't know that everybody knows that you can toggle back and forth on the libraries. I have mine set to all the time.
Right up
Um,
here.
yeah.
These are the different libraries that you have.
So if they want to find like an LAD for their area, that's usually going to be in one of the board ones, correct? One of these extra
So it
libraries.
would be, well, I would just do you know the acronym for it? Do you know or do you know the,
It would be like local area disclosure. So
let's say
LAD.
local. Let's see what comes up.
So we'll need to switch over to
Oh,
library.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess
sorry, which one do
all.
we need to switch over?
Um,
Because you have a lot.
it could
I'm not
be
familiar with.
many of them. I usually press all because I have so many, so then it just kind of
Okay,
comes up. Yeah. So, and then you get the
so
local
these are
area
the local,
disclosures.
this one here.
That would be one. Yep.
Oh,
Different
that would
regions
be
have
one.
different ones. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for those, the local area disclosures, you'll probably want to just keep that library selected as all up top. So that way there, when you go to search it, you can actually find it.
Mm-hmm.
Not all areas have the local area disclosures, but a fair amount of them do.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, that would be in the forms.
Yeah, it does bring up a lot of extra forms though.
It
When you,
does.
yeah. So it does make it a little harder to kind of sift through, I guess. You can also sort them through the little all thing right there if you want to,
Uh-huh.
um,
Be specific.
yeah, for listing or sale or something like that. If you don't know if there's a form and you want to see if there is one, you can just pull up like buyer or listing, and it'll pull up
Mm-hmm.
all the ones that specify for that. Or like lease, that's a big one. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
find what all the lease documents look like.
This is a yes and all. You could select, be specific, so it's not everything too,
Uh,
however you'd
Yeah,
like.
I don't think everybody's is. They're probably just going to show their own board plus the risk management
Right?
library, I guess. Yeah.
Agreed,
So,
agreed.
okay. Anything
Okay,
else we can touch on, or
thank
should
you.
we?
I'm just gonna go in here and delete what I've done so that nobody gets something that they shouldn't on yours,
Yeah.
Travis.
Not a problem.
Awesome.
So, any other
So
questions before we let Michelle go? And we have, let me see here. Oh, we have a couple. Unrelated question. When new forms are created in mid-August, do I have to redo any RPA or listing agreement?
that's what we were gonna find out specifically. I don't want to tell you yes or no, but because of everything new, when everything's updated, things change. So I just need to make sure before I tell you yes. I would say, don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I have to find out.
Yeah.
I'll let you know, Travis.
Okay. What I do a lot of times is if I have a file that's running for a long time, maybe a buyer that's been looking for a period of time, or maybe they are looking and then we have a forms update, just delete the RPA that you have in there if you know that got updated. So if you have your file open, delete that and then re-add it, and then the new one will add in. It doesn't automatic. If you already have a file going, I've noticed, um, those forms within that file will not update unless you delete them and then add them back in. So just be careful of that. So you make sure you're using the most current version. I know some people maybe have a test file in there where they have a bunch of stuff, or maybe some offers that we've written together, examples. You just want to make sure that you always have the most recent one. So just delete it and then add it back in. I don't know if the templates will update automatically. That's the question we're going to find out. So I think that's all the questions there. Okay. Well, hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any other questions, speak now, forever hold your peace. Otherwise, we can have Michelle back if we come up with a list of more detailed advanced stuff. Um, and then we can do kind of a part two. Um,
Happy to.
sh- uh, Question, should we hold off for making templates until the update? Um, Not necessarily, except for the buyer rep stuff. Not all of that's in yet, so maybe. I mean, we got 9 more days before they're released into ZipForms, so maybe, or you can go in and edit the template that you created, I think, if you want to kind of get it started and maybe get a few templates going. So there are a couple new forms getting added though that we can't add in yet.
Yes, that's good advice because they are going to be coming up. So you definitely want to get the new updated ones in your new template. So it's
Yeah.
a great time to prepare and get started, but probably wait till they all come up.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was informative.
Thank you, Travis,
And yeah, maybe we'll do a part two with something more advanced. So
for sure. Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Thanks a
Enjoy your
lot.
day.
You too. All right. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. We will see you next Monday. Always give me a call if you have any questions on anything. And we're going to post this replay in the Facebook group as usual. Should be there by the end of the day. And other than that, hope you have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.